All right. Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Will Sacks, and I'm here with my friend Robert Hartline.
Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, we're back in the studio here, and we're going to talk about a new project that is coming down the pipe in 2026 that we're both excited about.
Yes.
Scaling Sober. So before, the name is great. It's kind of self-explanatory, but before we get into the details of it, I'd love to start with your story and the genesis story of this program. So take us back to when you were running your company. Like you said, you were at like $10 million a year in revenue. And, tell us about how this idea first came about.
Well, I mean, it was accidental. I was like a lot of entrepreneurs. I was trying to navigate growing a business and doing all the things. When I say all the things, I mean, I was opening the store. I was hiring the people. I was ordering the inventory. I was paying the bills. Like I did all of those things. And I created a lot of stress, managing my life. I had 2 young kids at the time. And honestly, I created a lot of friction in my marriage. And I used alcohol as a way to cope, like a lot of us do, I guess. And I just, I would use it to unwind. I would use it when I was stressed. I would use it socially to lubricate conversations. I would use it for no reason at all.
Yeah.
And that kind of continued to happen where I felt like I needed it. And I could tell story after story of being drained from the day where I couldn't even make a decision at the end of the day. And I just wanted to get home and have a drink. My preference was wine. I would do a bottle of wine at night. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed relaxing. It was so, you said it, it's kind of crazy because I got some of those first Google glasses that came out. Remember back in the day at the Google glasses? And this Christmas, I was watching some old Christmas videos. And I have footage of me when my kids were really young. And this is kind of sad, but I'm looking at old Christmas video of me watching the kids unpack presents, and I'm drinking. And I'm seeing it from my own eyes, my perspective, and I'm watching myself drink.
Wait, you're watching this through the Google glasses?
Yeah, through my own eyes.
See the wine glass.
Yeah, just up? Over and over. And I'm like, whoa. I couldn't even, Christmas morning, I need freaking wine to go with watching the presents. I couldn't be just present.
Yeah.
Was
there a moment when you realized I've got a problem and I've got to make a change? Was it one moment or did it happen slowly?
Oh man, there's so many. I could tell you story after story. One story I have told many times is drinking cost me $10 million. And it was I used to have a chain of wireless retail stores. And back then, I had 10 locations, and I had some locations that were in East Tennessee. And I remember this vividly because I had went out some friends the night before, was out too late, knowing that I have a drive to East Tennessee the next day. Now, if you're not familiar with East Tennessee, Johnson City, Tennessee, is about a 6-hour drive from Nashville. And so I party up all night, I wake up hungover, and I drive 6 hours to go to the store. And honestly, I had a good team there, but in my diluted state, I kind of imagined that they created the worst case scenario for me when I arrived. So I get to the store and everything you could imagine would go wrong. Like nothing was right. Like they knew I was coming and it's almost like they had a meeting to see how they could really sock it to me and make my life.
This was in your mind. You were thinking that this.
Yeah. Okay, and this was a good team. And anyway, the entire day was wrong. Like, how bad things happen in threes? Well, that was this day. And I was so exhausted by the end of that day Well, there was another component that was weird because I had a Nextel store in the same shopping center as Sprint. And there was one store between us. And when Sprint took over Nextel, I now had a Nextel store that turned into a Sprint store next to another Sprint store with a business in between. So there's two of us.
Sprint stores.
So me and another dealer competing for the space in the shopping center. There did not need to be two Sprint stores in the same shopping center, obviously, right? But who's going to leave? And Sprint was going to tell us who to leave, right? Who was needed to go. And at the end of that day, I was going out to my car, frustrated. My energy was zapped. And I'm like, I do not want to come out here again. And I happened to walk out and see the district manager from the other company walking out of the store. And I walked up to him and I said, if I were to close this store right now, could you take my team? Because I want to take care of them. And he goes, yeah. And I literally gave him the store. Now let's go fast forward into the future. You know, this is 10 years from now. I'm involved in a lawsuit because T-Mobile acquired Sprint and totally hosed all the Sprint retailers, screwed us royally. I'm involved in a lawsuit to fight the big boys, right? And my friend who actually owned the store, I would begin to build a relationship with him. He had 100-something stores, and because in the course of the proceedings of the lawsuit and everything, I was like, well, how did the Johnson City store, when I was gifting you the store I pulled out? And he goes, Robert, that was my best store. That store made us $1 million a year. Best store in the whole company, 100 locations.
So
the best
you just
store.
gave away the store beside the best store.
Yeah, gave it away. Now, in hindsight, I should have at least gotten some money from it, but I was not thinking rationally.
You were hungover, right?
It was zapped. And, you know, something that someone told me many years ago is alcohol steals happiness from tomorrow. And that's just one of many situations. I could not tell you how many low vibe states that I was in a leadership role, standing in front of my team, saying and doing something that harmed my entire team. And I knew in my heart sobriety was necessary, but I honestly didn't think I could do it. I didn't think I was capable. Now I would try it. I'm not going to drink this week. And I would tell myself, I'm not going to drink tonight. I would tell myself all these stories that would never really happen. And I'm not even telling you all the stories of nearly getting a DUI. I'm not telling you I'm not telling you all the stories that God was protecting me when I was doing stupid things.
Yeah.
Right. And my wife wanted to try a 30-day sobriety challenge. And I was like, okay, I'll try 30 days. And so we do the sobriety challenge. And, you know, I was like a lot of people would say, well, I don't have a problem with alcohol. I can quit whenever. You know, these are the sayings that I hear from everybody. I hear from a lot of people, you know. Yeah. And coming up my 30 days, I was imagining the restaurant. I was imagining the cocktail and the wine I was going to drink with my steak. Like I was.
Okay, but you did it. You did the 30 days.
I did the 30 days.
Did the 30 days.
And I was imagining, I was like thinking of like it was
fantasizing about.
Yeah, I was like, and I got all the way there. It was like a Friday. And I was going to do it a Saturday night, but Friday, I find out this friend of mine was at Losers, which you're familiar with. Losers is a bar downtown, like any bar in Nashville. Uh-huh. And my friend had been spending all day at the bar drinking with all her friends. And when she was leaving, all her friends said, hey, you're not driving, are you? And she told them no, that she was getting in the lift. She didn't. She got in her daddy's truck and she drove up 65 heading to Hendersonville, Tennessee, and she did not make it. And she had to be identified by her dental records. And she left a 13-year-old son behind. And I can only take that as a sign. And the only way I processed it was I was given this sign that I could choose to acknowledge.
Wow. So it was like this.
Or I could ignore it. Now, I've had a lot of these signs before, but the act of leaving her son behind, which is to me like the thing, my sons are everything. And to imagine that I could, in my own lapse of judgment, take their father away, who am I? If I were to do that. And I didn't do any 12-step program. I didn't do anything other than say, I'm not going to drink today. And I never said I'm never going to drink again. I haven't drank since.
How long ago was that?
It's 8 years. Yeah. And what happened after that was kind of this magic show. Honestly, it was pure magic. The things and the opportunities that unfolded, I mean, were amazing. For one, I started to lean into EOS. I hired a coach. EOS stands for the Entrepreneurial Operating System.
Yeah, for any entrepreneur who doesn't know what that is, can you just give a very bite-sized overview? What is that?
It's a operating system. Just like your phone, you have an operating system. If you were to pick up your phone and you didn't have an operating system, you wouldn't know how to use it. Well, our businesses deserve an operating system. And it really focuses on three things, and that is vision. Where are we going as an organization? What's our big vision? We talk a lot about our 10-year vision. Traction is the disciplines to achieve that in our meeting pulse, and how we work as a leadership team, and how we collaborate and work on quarterly rocks, which are 3 to 7 key priorities. And last but not least, healthy is having an open and honest leadership team that's real, and following that process, I had 3 things I wanted. I wanted to grow to 100 million in sales. I wanted to have 100 locations. I wanted to move my family to Costa Rica, and I wanted to save my marriage. And that was really my guiding light. And within 3 years, nearly did all those things. I didn't get 100 stores. I got to 78 and 100 million in sales, and fastest growing company in Middle Tennessee 2 years in a row. We're on the show House Hunters International, which was amazing because I have a whole documented story on TLC with my family moving to Costa Rica. And it was the whole journey to Costa Rica that I would discover breath work. I would discover the tool that helped me cope with fear. And started to recognize, I go through these fear states. And when I'm in these fear states or high stress states, I want to soothe with food or alcohol. Well, now I had another tool. And I was so lucky to meet someone in that breathwork journey who helped me discover my why in the business that made me fall in love with the business again. And I took that why, that discovery, and poured into my culture and my people, into leaning into my unique ability was one of the things that EOS really walks you through, is getting the founder to discover what are they uniquely destined to do and just do that.
Just do that. What was the relationship between sobriety after you heard about your friend and you decided I'm not going to drink today, and everything that happened next? Like how did sobriety allow you to show up for everything that happened next, or create whatever happened next?
Well, first off, if you ever talk to someone who's gone through some kind of sobriety, there's something that starts to happen that it's really profound. There's a level of presence that starts to enter your world that you've never experienced before in a while. If you have been drinking every day for a long period of time, you create a fog. I call it fog of war. And you have this haziness where you're kind of tiptoeing in from these excitable states that alcohol can give you to really low states that the lows of alcohol can give you, because you lack sleep, because you're waking up middle of the night, because your blood sugars go crazy. Like there's a whole series of body shifts that happen during sobriety. You feel more energy when you start to come off.
So you started feeling this
Yes.
newfound presence.
Yeah, new presence.
The fog parts.
Yeah, my favorite thing about a year into sobriety, I would drive down the street and notice signs that were been up forever. I would notice stores. I would notice things that I never noticed before. I would notice people. I would notice them in meetings differently. My ability,
you just sensed more.
My intuition was more acute than it ever had been before because I had such clarity.
What about the stress of running all those stores? Because that didn't go. The number of stores that you had didn't go away.
The number of stores,
increased.
yeah, like they
geometrically.
Increased.
So how were you able to deal with that, given that you were using alcohol to kind of numb yourself out at the end of the day or take the edge off at the end of the day? Like what shifted?
Oh, that big shift was I had an operating system.
Yeah.
I had the system. I had the process. I mean, I had the tools that made it work. I mean, I had a structure and an accountability chart.
Did that walk into your life as soon as you got sober?
Oh, absolutely. And you know, it is not an overnight process. I mean, to go through an EOS process from beginning to end, when you graduate, it's 2 years. I mean, it's not an overnight thing. We have hardwired a lot of really terrible behavior inside and outside of our companies, where when you get that clarity, you get to really understand what it is to do what you love, really understand that, really understand what it means to work with those that you love and surround yourself with people like-minded like you that are open to change, who believe in the mission. And I had a leadership team that took care of a lot of things. Now, was I perfect? Absolutely not. You know, even through sobriety, I was still learning how to be a better leader. And today I happen to be an EOS implementer after I sold my company. So I get to sit in the room with other entrepreneurs and I see behaviors that I used to do up until I sold my company. And I see them do it, and I'm just cringe and humbled. And then thankful that I could help someone, you know, navigate that as well.
Yeah.
But had I had not, you know, I could have been in sobriety and still stressed and freaked out. And, you know, I absolutely needed both. I needed sobriety. I needed the operating system. I think I would have been successful with one or the other, but with both, it's just a different game.
Yeah. It's like sobriety is kind of a system for life in a way. You're taking away something that's causing you to not be present, to not be at your best energy, to not turn your creative spark into something, into make your vision come into reality. And then the business, it has a lot of moving parts. So that new presence you took and you put on your business, and then everything started to work.
And here's the thing I noticed, like entrepreneurs chase highs. That's why they're adrenaline junkies. And I chase success highs. You know, to me, like my success high would be looking at my numbers and seeing I made money today. And then it'd be low the next day when I didn't make any money. You know, so there's, you know, we as entrepreneurs, you know, kind of chase that, you know.
How does one be a sober entrepreneur?
Yeah. How does one be a sober entrepreneur? Well, sober is a complicated word for people. And people, when I talk about sober, it's a lot of mixed feelings. And some people get really agitated with the even topic of sobriety, which is always, and I was the same way, 100% the same way. where someone would talk about their sobriety, and I was kind of maybe a little judgmental about it. And well, I'm not, I don't, I don't have a problem, and I'm, I only drink at dinner, or and make up all these stories or whatever. But for some people, sobriety means completely sober of any addictions.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want to say alcohol, porn, sugar, weed, and all the other drugs that you can put in that.
Shopping.
Chaos
addiction, I think, for entrepreneurs is another one. Oh, everything's going good today. Well, now I'm going to throw a huge new project on the plate of my company, and it's going to create chaos. And then it's going to be exciting again, and I'm going to get to be a part of that. That's what I hear in your story is the EOS is a way to bring sobriety to the company, because everybody knows what you're working on. Everyone's pulling in the same direction. If you have a new idea, you can plan it for next quarter, but not this quarter. And so it's like a way to kind of regiment a more even keeled way of operating the ship.
Yeah, that's right. I like the way you said that. And, as I think about, this new journey that I'm navigating, I'm really keeping a new perspective on the word sobriety, so that people can start to explore in their own world. When you feel that urge to have something sweet, when does that trigger happen? Really the lean into why you feel that way, or that urge to drink, or that urge to smoke weed, or that urge to all these little urges, and to really ask yourself, because I think it all begins, and this is what I learned about myself in the sobriety journey, is a need of a dopamine hit.
Right. Dopamine addiction.
Yeah.
We get it through
our phones. We didn't even mention a phone.
Yeah,
we didn't even mention phone. I mean, I think everyone that may be watching this would be lying to themselves if they didn't at least wonder if they have an addiction to their phone that needs attention.
Right. What would be possible if more entrepreneurs in the world embraced these ideas of scaling sober?
Gosh, like really unlimited. I mean, if you are using alcohol or some other form of stuff to numb and not feel, not chase your dreams, not lean into your unique ability to actually see your vision take hold and build momentum. I mean, think about how many people that's affecting. I don't think there is, right? I don't think there is anybody that could give us a quantifiable number what alcohol costs society. Go to the jails. Imagine alcohol was not a factor in an arrest. I would say 10% of the population would even exist in jail.
Totally.
I don't think we are talking about it enough, because it is really hurting many, many families in many, many ways. And more importantly, the entrepreneur and who they affect. If you have a charismatic entrepreneur who's vibrant and alive with his team, they will go everywhere.
Yeah.
That same charisma on the opposite spectrum, being low, of no energy, has the same impact negatively.
Totally.
So you are times whatever your emotion is. So whatever that emotion is, most entrepreneurs have this wild ability. They're multiplication types people, like literally are 10x people. You're around them, you're drawn to them, you want to buy from them, you're bought into their company, you want to work for them. Like when they are on their highs, like they galvanize, but they do just the same harm on the other side of the spectrum.
Right. They're like multiplier personalities. So what I'm hearing is that the possibility of sobriety and growing your company from that place is you get to multiply that spark of love or creativity that started the company in the first place, and among all your people, among all your customers, and actually create something beautiful in the world. And then conversely, if people are stuck in addictions, then the possibility is to, fuck it all up.
Yeah.
Pardon my French.
And what better person to navigate a sobriety journey than the owner of a company who is on the leadership team, who is leading and saying, you know what, guys, I had a problem. I haven't been the best leader. And I know, for one, I'm not alone in my peer group, because this is what I want to create. I want a peer group of other entrepreneurs scaling their company while sober, so they have a community. I mean, listen, I've been into all the networking groups and all the entrepreneurial programs. I've seen them. Every event is centered around alcohol. You walk in, here's some champagne, here's a bourbon tasting, we're doing wine tasting. Alcohol. This is a form of connection. That's not the connection that I want anymore. And people that are navigating sobriety, they don't like it. It's kind of old. I'll tell you what's amazing: hearing your vision and seeing the excitement in your voice when you're talking about where you're going and how you're going to get there. Hearing you win. Holy cow, that's exciting. And when we're sharing deeply about obstacles you've overcome, and we're authentically connecting, not through alcohol or trying to be boastful, because we now are a little bit buzzed and we feel like more lively. I promise you this: you get a group of entrepreneurs talking about their dreams, the energy in the room is infectious. You will literally leave the room going, I'm ready to crush it.
Yeah.
That's the feeling. That's the vibe. Yeah, that's the vibe.
Energy. Yeah.
And that's all possible. And I think, what I have wanted to navigate with the community I want to build is I want to drink my vision with you. I want to drink your vision with you. I want to share my resources, my tools, my help, my network to help you with your vision. Because if I help you get what you want, of course, I get what I want. I just get in the energy of seeing you get what you want. And that's enough for me. So I can use that to go build my business, build my team, help me reshape. Because, how many times you had someone talk about their vision and you're like, oh, I want that too.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh yeah, I want that.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. And a lot of this, a lot of the things that, and this happens in all these entrepreneur communities. There's so many like lessons and teachings and people brought in for speaking, and there's so much to learn. We never really take the time to actively implement it. And that's why scaling sober means so much to me, is having a group of people that have made the decision for sobriety. Listen, I'm not going to spend much time talking about not drinking. I'm going to spend a lot of time talking about winning.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend a lot of time talking about what steps are we taking? Where are you on your scorecard? Where are you getting into the process of achieving your vision, your dreams?
Okay, I want to talk about scaling sober and the show.
Yes, the show.
The show. But before we do that, I have this question for you. How has sharing your story of sobriety, how's that impacted people around you, your employees, your customers, your general sphere?
Countless conversations of men and women ask me how I did it. And they have this same thing. I resonated with so much that it becomes it's like a pacifier. It's like this friendly, lovey teddy bear. When they're dealing with strife and struggle and obstacles, I can lean onto this thing that gives them peace. They think.
Uh-huh.
And I tell them the story, and I tell them very vulnerable stories that I could never share here. How I was and how terrible of a leader I was, and husband and father, and not connected. And I cannot tell you how many people I've walked through sobriety through a simple walk in the park, telling my story, giving them the confidence that they can too, giving them the belief in themselves that they can navigate this. And some of it is just like, how do I go to a networking event and not drink?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you how you do it. You go and order a water, and you drink that water like it was fucking wine or alcohol. Like, you just chug that stuff. It gives you something to do with your hand, and then find interesting people to talk to and drink on their story.
Yeah.
Hear them, listen to
Yeah.
them, be present with them, get into a real deep conversation with them. And you'll feel high. You will feel something different that you're going to start to use in your everyday dialogue with your team. You're going to use with your everyday presence with your kids and your wife and your family members. And then as you start doing it, people are going to say, well, why aren't you drinking? And you're going to start telling your story. You know, you're going to tell things that you may have done that you're not so proud of. You're going to help someone. And I'll tell you, the magic in sobriety is walking someone else through sobriety, because it gives you a sense of accountability. Like, I have a friend, and this is very common for people who are going through sobriety. They'll have a nightmare where they wake up and they thought they just drank.
Uh-huh.
And they had this little nightmare was like, oh my gosh, now I have to face that sober friend and tell them that I fell down. I drank. And this is like a dream I had multiple times when I went through sobriety, because I have a friend, her name's Rhonda. And she's the first one to introduce me to sobriety. And she's like 30 years sober. And she gave me a lot of confidence and said I could call her and lean on her. And I felt a sense of obligation to her.
Oh,
And I know she would have been like so loving to me if I fell off, and she would have loved me if I drank or, you know, whatever. But there was a sense of accountability when you're walking someone through sobriety that, you know what, if I'm going to speak to the virtues of sobriety, then I have to live up to what I say.
Yeah.
And there's a level of accountability that is unmatched.
Did your team know that you were going through this at the time?
Yeah.
Because I just want to tee up these questions, because we're going to unveil in a minute an opportunity for other successful entrepreneurs who want to walk the same path that you've walked with you as a mentor. So just going back to when you got sober, you know, I think a lot of people might be concerned that if they share publicly what they're going through privately, that it's going to hurt them in the marketplace. It's going to hurt them with their teams. So what was your experience?
Yeah,
Can you talk to that a little bit?
your beauty as a real human shows up in your vulnerability. Real people who share their realness of things that maybe they're not very proud of, like drinking too much or doing something while they were drunk or not feeling. Maybe they feel some being ashamed by it. I'm saying, listen, your team will stand behind you 100% when you're just real. And they're challenged with the same damn things. In fact, they may be drinking because of you.
Right. They might see you doing it and
right.
think it's okay. Right.
And, you know, if I could go back to, I used to throw these outlandish Christmas parties, and I had alcohol there and I wasn't drinking. And I wish I was present enough to have stood up and said, we don't drink, and why? And I didn't. But if I had to do it over again, I would have that kind of stance. But it was part of my dialogue. I was very open about it. And knowing what I know now, I would be more vocal about it, because I think it's it's somewhat of a duty of mine to be a real good leader, to be honest with people. Alcohol is not good for you. Alcohol is keeping you from living you up to your own potential. Alcohol is not necessary to have an amazing life. And I just want to express to anybody that's in my presence to know that there is another way. And it can be amazing, and it will be amazing. You know, I have not met one single entrepreneur or friend that have navigated sobriety that their life went to shit when they stopped drinking.
Right.
It
You don't really hear that story.
got better. It just got better. Now, are you going to face some new demons? Yeah. Are you going to face a side of you that you've been avoiding? Maybe your shadow? Yeah. But when you do it with other people in a peer group, also navigating their own shadows and starting to see other versions of you that maybe you've been hiding, now you can start to love that person and be more embodied who you really are, not through drinking your personality into reality, which a lot of people seem to think that they're more themselves when they drink, right? And that's not true. Like, you're more yourself when you're doing something you really love.
Yeah.
And when you're with people that are around you that you also love, and you're that's everything. That's the real you. And like I feel like I'm vibrating right now talking about this because I really believe in this. I really believe that in order to navigate the journey of sobriety is also a journey in navigating love of yourself, fully loving yourself, and understand that love is energy. And it wasn't until I was in Costa Rica, I was discovering breath work. And the very first session, I met a woman, Monica, who asked me, what did I do? And I said so dismissingly, for the last decade and a half, I've been selling cell phones. And I said it in a way like, I can't believe I'm doing this. My life is crap. Is the way I said it, honestly. If I'm looking back, that's how I worded it. And she shifted right back to me, says, you sell cell phones? I go, yeah. She goes, you mean people come in and buy your phones? They can communicate with their family. They use it to work out. They listen to music. They learn from YouTube. They connect with new job opportunities. They learn a new skill. And she's naming off all these things that happen as a result of them having a phone. And I was like, yeah, I sell cell phones.
I sell cell phones.
I sell cell phones. And I took that experience. And as soon as I came back to Nashville, I created my onboard meeting. It was a 90-minute meeting I did with all my new hires where I taught my core values. And I taught a book called The Science of Getting Rich. It's a book that was written in 1908. And it was the precursor to Think and Grow Rich. And it's this core philosophy. If I create value for other people, I have available to me the unlimited amount of resources the earth can provide. I am not getting mine. This is an attitude of, I got to get mine. No, there's enough riches for all of us. The world is abundant. There's enough gold for all of us to have as much as we want. What we must do is build deep, meaningful connections, provide value.
Yep.
And 75% of my workforce were people coming from single parent households. They had not had a dad. And I was the first person to teach them that they matter. They could greet a customer in the store and look them in the eye and say their name in conversation and care about what they needed and help them in such a way that person would buy anything in the world they were selling.
It's like both people are served in that interaction, right?
Yeah. And when I taught these people that profession of selling, where they could build a relationship and influence their paycheck by showing someone they cared about them. That's love. That's what it is. Love on someone. And it's in love that we get everything that we want. Like dealing with a troubled employee, give them love. They do great work, give them love. Like when you think about it, the answer always in love. Solves everything. Now, hard to do sometimes. And that's what I want to teach with our program, because that's the energy that matters. If I can express anything out of this whole video you've watched up into this moment, is that is the energy we go about through this program, is getting you to understand how to use power of love in your heart to first love on yourself. It's the first thing we're going to conquer. It's like, how do we love ourselves? Because you never truly have felt love if you've never been able to fully love yourself. And once you can navigate that, then you can feel love everywhere you go. You can use love. You can be love. You can express love. You can simply see love in someone else. It's not even geared towards you. I can see a family walking down in a park together in love, hand in hand, and feel the energy of love and walk by them and receive love without even speaking to them. That's the power of love. All the songs in our history of love, it never meant or connected to me. I didn't get it. I get it.
Now you get it.
I get it. And it's that moment when you get it and you embody that. Guess what? You don't have to do anymore if you are an entrepreneur. You don't have to sell anymore, because being love is the energy that will magnetize all your vision to happen. It's all there. You don't have to fake it till you make it. We just have to be. Our motto in our program is see it, a compelling vision for your life that you can close your eyes and be in that reality of already having it. 2, be it. Be it is becoming yourself, stripping away the mask, the front, the ego, getting down to the core. You being you will attract to you all the things that your vision needs to manifest. Last but not least, you need to be together with other people,
other entrepreneurs walking similar path. So let's talk about scaling sober a little bit.
Yeah.
So you already told your story of finding sobriety when your company was, from all outward metrics, successful, but inwardly very painful, and going through the transformational process of giving up alcohol, becoming sober, implementing EOS in your business, and then becoming one of the fastest growing companies in Tennessee and getting past $100 million a year mark. And then talking a bit about how that improved your company from the inside, your relationship with your employees, how they related to themselves, the love that you were cultivating and you percolated and spread out into your employees and then your customers, and actually telling your sobriety journey was a feature, not a bug. It was something that helped you get there, not something that hindered you. And then this desire to share this experience with other entrepreneurs. So that brings us to Scaling Sober, which is a new television show that follows the journey of 8 entrepreneurs who have made the commitment to scale their businesses while sober. And I want to hear this from you. Why is this exciting? And what does this make possible for the entrepreneurs that get chosen to be on the show?
Yes, I really look at this as, this is, if I'm being real, and I want to be real honest with you, it's a spiritual journey to lean into your unique ability. It's a spiritual journey to grow a business, to be fully embodied in the uniqueness of you, doing what you love with those that you love. Some will call that heaven on earth. And that is the journey. The 8 entrepreneurs that I'm seeking to influence is not only to influence them for change, but the power they have to shift their company, their employees, their vendors, their customers through their unique thing that they're gifting to this world. There's so many people there. You cannot find someone watching this video that doesn't have one person in their lives that was affected negatively because of alcohol. Everyone has a story of someone, including themselves, their friend or family, or even grew up in a home with parents that drank that were not negatively affected. And I want to make Nashville the home of a new place that is accepting of sobriety as a movement. Now, if you go to Google Trends, look at sobriety, look at the stories of sobriety and the trend. It is a rocket ship to the top. People are drinking less. There's tons of data out there to support these breweries and brands, alcohol brands are not doing well. People are becoming hip to sobriety. So I'm just one of many speaking the virtues of sobriety. Find a post of a friend that has gone through a sobriety journey. Look at the comments. Look at the likes. It is a vibe to be sober. It is a whole world of new elixirs and beverages that are coming forward specifically to target the sobriety movement. This is a movement. And I would love people to find Nashville as a place they can come enjoy Nashville and the vibes of Nashville and to remember what happened when they came here. And it's not all about going to honky tonk and forgetting what happened and not remember getting the Uber home. I'm talking about connecting with others, talking about life and having fun and using your love in your heart as the energy to experience Nashville.
Yeah.
These 8 entrepreneurs that are going to navigate this journey with me. I want to be perfectly frank with all of them. This is not easy. It is not easy stepping into fear. If your vision of your life isn't a little bit terrifying, maybe your vision's not big enough. It should be a little bit frightening. When you do it with other people that are navigating that, you will have the confidence that you can step into that. You know, the basis of this entire program that I navigate with people is based into the 12 regrets of the dying. It's what people say on their deathbed before they pass. And it's the common things that you would think they would say. I wish I had spent more time with my loved ones. I wish I had lived up to my full potential. That resonates with me. I wish I'd faced my fears. I wish I had lived my own life, not through the eyes of another. I wish I had been more honest. And these go on and on. When you stop and think about the true gurus of our day are dead. And they say before they pass life lessons that we should be paying attention to. So if you think with the end in mind, you think about, I don't want to be that man in a rocking chair at 100 years old and go, man, when I was healthy, I should have, could have, would have.
Right.
Right.
So let's talk about the scaling sober. We're looking for 8 entrepreneurs. They could be from anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere really, but
yeah,
anywhere around the
program
United States.
The program will be in Nashville the first year
in 2026.
And we have a TV producer that we're working through along with the team to document the journey of these 8 entrepreneurs. They'll be going through an EOS journey to get their company through EOS. We're going to be doing our work at the Music City Work Club, which will be our hub. That's where all the entrepreneurs will be working from, and their teams will be there as well. You know, a lot of people have different office spaces where they work. And one thing I learned, you'll learn through the EOS process, if you're a true visionary, the problem for a lot of visionaries, if you're in the room with your whole team, meaning in the building, they tend to lean on the visionary for everything. They ask you for all the questions. And what ends up happening is a lot of visionaries don't realize that we are addicted to the dopamine hit. And when people come to us to solve their problems, we like to solve their problems because it feels good, because we know how to do it. And we're good at solving these problems. We're good at it, right? A true visionary, if you're following the EOS process, lets go of that. And they have a member of the team called the integrator. The integrator has a team of people running under them, and they solve those problems. A true visionary works from a big picture perspective. And a good way to do that is pull the entrepreneur out of the business, out of the day-to-day, into another place with other visionaries thinking big picture. Because when you start to work on big picture, you work on bigger relationships, you work on bigger opportunities.
Deals,
You're solving bigger problems and giving your team the ability to solve their problems and get the dopamine hits because they deserve them. They deserve to learn. They deserve to fail because they will fail some, right?
Yeah. So, okay, Music City Work Club. I want to get through these so people understand the opportunities. So 8 entrepreneurs. We're going to do a wide application process.
Yeah.
If somebody is interested, they're running their company, they maybe resonate with your story and the opportunity of sobriety, and they want to be a part of this.
Yeah.
We have a short form for them to fill out, put in some information. But let's just talk about what would be the program. So I'm going to go through the different items, and if you could say just a few sentences about each of them. So, all right, it's a 12-month program, shared office space, a private office, and then shared office space for 10 members of their team.
Yeah.
You say a little bit about that.
Yeah. So we're creating a very fun vibe in Nashville to work from. So this is a co-working space where community will exist. This is where you'd come to work. These are people that you're going to be working out with. These are people you're going to be meeting with, going through the process of EOS and doing the team building exercises that we do actually to step into that.
Cool. So that we valued at about $25,000.
Right.
Next is EOS implementation for their company.
Yeah. So that is all day sessions with me, with the leadership team to navigate the process of EOS, which is a all day sessions working on a 2-page document called the VTO. But the process in general is about a 2-year program. But the first year, I would be walking through your leadership team with.
Amazing. And then private coaching.
Yeah, one-on-one coaching. And this is where, entrepreneurs have their own challenges with themselves because really we are in the way always.
Yeah.
If you really stop and think about it, it's often an entrepreneur say, I got this problem with so-and-so. No, your problem. and navigating that. Yeah. The one-on-one coaching.
One-on-one coaching for the year. And then let's talk about the PR that's available through being part of Scaling Sober.
Yeah. So, we're going to have a camera crew walking us through this journey. Ideally, we're going to be shopping this TV show with other networks while we are navigating the process. And so the PR opportunity is this being online. This is a story that we're going to be telling. And which means, and I think it's important to say, we're looking for the right driven entrepreneur. I'm talking hungry to win and willing to be open with your own challenges that you're navigating. So you're vulnerable. If you're not a vulnerable person and not willing to be open and honest, this isn't for you.
Right. Clearly. All right. Sales playbook is the next part of the program.
Yeah.
Super
One
important.
of the first things I did when I navigated the 10X growth of my business is developing a playbook for how sales worked. And so I've got years of experience, over 14 years of building a CRM brand called CallProof. It's an app for door-to-door salespeople. I've been helping sales organizations build playbooks for years, and that's part of the process.
So the essence of that is scaling your revenue.
Absolutely. Through sales.
Through sales.
Yeah.
Content.
Yes. We're going to be building a lot of content together because as we start going through the EOS process, we're going to learn a lot about what your core values are and getting that documented on video. What does it really mean to work here?
To be a part of this company,
There's an
what's
energy
important.
about every single core value. And I'm telling you, it's in the core value that you become the 10X in your business. The core values are there when your team are by themselves with a customer and they need guidance. Your core values is there.
Yeah.
Your core values is for you when you're making decisions.
Yeah. All right. A few more here. So sobriety, what's that worth? Priceless.
It's unlimited. It's unlimited.
So better family relationships, better friend relationships,
Yeah.
better, spousal relationships.
Yeah. Your relationships when you navigate a sobriety journey, when you get into a community of other sober people, just elevate.
Yeah. And then lastly, the 8 Decisions year-long life mastery program.
Yeah. The 8 Decisions is a program that I've developed over the last 2 years where we navigate every quarter evolving, much like
as a human. So it's kind of like similar to an EOS process for your business where you evolve yourself as a human.
Yeah. I mean, we're just turning into fall right now. And you see the seasons change, the leaves fall. Life is happening around you. You see the change in the season, but we also forget that we are changing. Much like when you get a notification on your iPhone, they got a new update. We come together every quarter and we share our new update, the new version of you that are coming into the existence. We're going to talk about our wins from last quarter. We're going to bring other visionaries in a room as we learn some new topics, and we're going to start to make decisions for our next quarter. So we do a thing called the decision experience where we craft the new decisions we need to make for the next quarter of our lives.
Beautiful. All right. So that sums up most of the benefits, I think, to an entrepreneur that might be watching this and might be curious to join or apply to be selected as one of the founders that's going to go through the Scaling Sober program. So just to add it up again, private office and 10 shared office space for a year, EOS implementation for a year. Well, why don't I do the dollar value? So we value the office space at around $24,000 a year. EOS implementation is about $48,000 a year. Private coaching, that's a $30,000 value for the year. The PR we estimate at $200,000 a year, and that could be a very conservative estimate based on how many people see the show. Sales playbook we valued at $25,000 a year. The content is $25,000 a year. And then sobriety, it's very hard to put a price on that, but we said $100K for the year. Better relationships, $100K for the year. And then the 8 Decisions year-long mastermind is $15K. So if we add all that up, it's about a $567,000 value. And we're looking for 8 entrepreneurs that want to be a part of this journey and benefit from your incredible story, benefit from being together in a community of entrepreneurs who are scaling sober. And if anybody watching this is interested, we're excited to meet you. Final words.
Yeah. In your wildest imagination, what do you want? In this life, what do you want? It's all possible. The thought becomes a thing, but it takes a process, and it takes a group of people that you want to be around that want to help you. That's it.
Great. So I'm excited to be a part of this project and see it unfold over the next year and the years to come. And people can visit scalingsober.com to get more information and put their info in to be one of the 8 entrepreneurs selected for the first season of the show.
Yes. We'll be taking applications from now to November 15th. And we'll be doing a selection process from the 15th to the end of the year.
Great. Thanks, Bobby.
Thanks, Will.